Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend, where we are, I think, doing alright, but this might be a good time to check in on the AI and see if we are in step, see if we are being vastly outpaced or anything here. So currently we see, overall score is not going to be very indicative of what's actually happening in the game, as we've seen many times, but one thing that might be helpful is to check out the victory statuses here. So Pink is at 18% of an expansion victory. Looks to me like we are not worried about that thing happening anytime soon. Obviously, everybody's nowhere on the economic victory. It is 666,600 dust that has to be generated to win the economic victory. Right now, we are not doing very well on that, but we're still in our growth phase. It's going to have to become the actual dust generation phase, like, pretty soon. But we're still growing rapidly. I'm not too worried. Nobody's anywhere near diplomatic victory. Unfortunately, we don't have a good sense of where people are on the science victory. There's no way to know how long it's going to take the AI to win a science victory, really, because the rate at which they acquire techs doesn't necessarily translate into science progress because they don't always pick the techs in the most efficient way. So basically, nothing. We have no information. I have no idea where everybody else is on their victories. I guess for now, we're just going to have to keep our head down and keep working. So, in 4 turns, we're going to be in a position to really, really buy a lot of buildings quickly. We want to probably try to get some settlers together. We have 18 to 38 turns before the next winter. I'm wondering if we want to maybe skip the public granary and just go hard on building settlers, get the other 4 settlers out, figure out the rest of our economy and approval stuff, and then really dig into dust production mode. Maybe. Let's definitely get... That's the wrong button. Let's definitely get the upgraded designs on here. Oh, I can't actually go to tier 3 yet. That's right. We're not actually in the next era. We are 1 turn away, so never mind. We'll queue up the settler next turn, but I think I am going to pull the public granary, because it doesn't make sense to spend a bunch of time on a food building and then immediately make settlers, right? And in fact, it doesn't make a lot of sense to be focused on food right now if we're just going directly into settler production. So let's roll over as much as we can. And how much dust per turn do we have to be generating? 92. Okay, so we don't have to have anybody assigned to dust to be able to push our minor faction quest along. One thing I do want to point out before I move on here is that somebody, and I made a note of your name here, Jonathan Hurtle, pointed out in the comments of the last episode that we could potentially make use of our privateer ability to still take the sea region from green. That's a really good point. Now, one thing I don't know is whether the AI makes any attempt at all to figure out a situation like that. Like, if a neutral navy just showed up out of nowhere and took Inga, and everybody in the game was a human player, obviously, Green would be like, okay, let's figure out who did that and make them suffer. And it probably would not take a ton of math to figure out that it's probably the Roving Clan player who is right next to that ocean and also gets privateer, gets the ability to make privateers 3 eras before everybody else. I don't know if the AI is capable of thinking that way, if they make any attempt to figure out what happened or to hold a grudge. So it's an interesting question. I would not be opposed to owning this, but I don't know how much effort it's worth. Because I assume that there's probably a garrison. We could move some units over there and try to find out. I don't know. I don't know if we'll try it or not, but it's certainly something that we could go for. Alright, what else do we have to do this turn? Nothing else. I do have to make sure that this dervish gets to actually move to a position where he can search this ruin. And it looks like we do not, in fact, connect by land to this region over here. We're close, though. Well, that was a bust. And I don't have shipyard tech, so I couldn't get this dervish on the water. Alright, let's figure this out. Where are we? Stupid era gain made me not quite finish the dredge. Alright, let's fix the settler design and then build us some real quick settlers. And I suppose the question is, do I actually want to build them in the capital, or is there another place that makes sense? Sagor is the only place that has a reasonable amount. I guess Sagor and Hellcrest are both fairly high industry. If I moved everybody here over to industry, we'd be at 147, so about as good at it as the capital is. I'm just thinking maybe we don't want to pull 4 points of population out of the same city. Although I suppose they'll be replaced more quickly that way. Because the amount of food necessary to go from a low population value to the next one up is much lower than from a high population value to the next one up. So I guess if we're going to build a bunch of settlers, it does make sense to build them all in the same city, because we'll recover from the food damage faster. And we could put some dust into these, although I kind of think I want to make a nice big bank. So we've got 2 adamantian sources and a palladian. Got a ton of grass silk, which is actually one of the better luxury resources for our faction and our intended victory type. So I think we want to... I mean, we have a lot of good stuff, right? This is phenomenal. And then we'll grab Reaping Station? Maybe that could be the plan? Oh, you know what? Bread and Circuses is going to be a big pull, too. We're managing to maintain fervency right now, but that won't be the case for very long. In fact, it won't be the case immediately. Maybe I do it like this. I really want to get Dust Refinery researched. I think that's important. And then we can follow with Bread and Circuses afterward, and we can try to rush cheap Dust Refineries in everywhere that is possible to do so. As soon as we have our Empire plan fired. So yeah, we're going to bank a bunch of dust for that. To build some basics out here. Where do we want to put the next borough? I think we're trying to build a triangle here. Okay, we have a lot of real basic stuff still getting built, but it's all important. Okay, the other thing to consider is the villages in these regions. So what do we have here? Minor Faction, Major Trust. Okay, so that is a quest to return to this village with an army that contains 3 Minor Faction units to show them that we can get along with Minor Factions. That's probably... well, it is 2 villages. I was going to say it's probably not worth doing, but I guess we're going to have 2 dredges anyway. We may as well build a 3rd dredge at some point and then resolve that. It's probably better than burning down both the villages and then rebuilding them. What do we have here? Kickstarting. Oh, what did they want? They want dyes? Because we can actually do that now. Okay, I need like I need a spare unit or 2 over here. First of all, to run these guys off, and secondly to do all these quests. I guess this guy's pretty fast, and as soon as he gets back in our territory, we should probably retrofit him with a movement bonus. In fact, we should retrofit him with a movement bonus and also some, probably some basic gear would be good. Oh yeah, shield. Okay, that's probably worth spending a little bit of dust on. That'll make him terrifying relative to all these Minor Faction enemies that we're going to have to fight. I think we're making really good progress. I don't know if we're making really good progress relative to the speed of the AI's progress, which is something that makes me a little nervous, but I think we're in a vacuum. The numbers are going up pretty sharply. We still have to, after the Empire plan, try to get vision from a bunch of other players and see if we can't figure out where the region is for the next step of our faction quest. But if we don't get to move the faction quest along anymore after this point, it's not the end of the world. Alright, the Titan Bones are out. That is a real shame. Is it possible for me to buy enough Titan Bones to run another one? It is. It's not even really that expensive. What's my booster cost right now? 35? 40. This would be like... wow. The price is crashing right in front of our eyes. Look at all of the sales. Yeah, alright, let's get ourselves some Titan Bones. It really wasn't that expensive. We need the approval, and this is a particularly relevant booster right now. A lot of stuff that needs building as quickly as possible. Go ahead and retrofit this guy. He'll be sufficient to solve all of our problems over here, hopefully. So he needs to run down and wipe this guy out first. We might be able to stop him from actually burning down that village. And then we'll have him talk to these guys and finish that quest. We have to destroy this village too. Alright, over here we completed our public granary. Yeah, we can definitely get the seed storage done early enough for it to be meaningful. And then probably after that, exploitations, right? Ordinarily I would just rush this stuff out, but I think it does make sense to save up some dust. We're just banking resources for the turn 60 blitz. Sorry, turn 61 is when the Empire plan will actually go into effect. Yeah, alright, we're going to get down there in time. Dye has run out. That could also be fixed. Probably pretty cheaply. Dye, yes. Man, I can't wait until our approval levels are such that we don't have to be running quite so many boosters. Especially since they're going to get, like, really expensive. Alright, we may as well get the geomic labs out and then dust refineries. Alright, this should be a very, very easy battle, because I think we're going to get Hellcrest and Geneldes. Both of the garrisons and both of the heroes in on it. What is this? Unwanted oxidation. That is going to affect us far less than it usually does. I don't think that's a problem at all. Donate 40 Palladian. AI's already starting in on it. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to ignore it. Let's get rid of you. Should be very, very easy, but let's make sure we do it in a way that has no chance of losing my dervish, because he's actually pretty important right now. Also, hey, that finished. Apparently the AI had strong feelings about it this time. I'm not really going to apply a lot of strategy here. We're going to be able to beat them through sheer numbers. And my militia should be quite a bit better than they are at this point. So, you know what, let's have him attack there, and then we can have the dervish contribute to the same target without taking any damage. You know what, I'm pretty sure we have lords that don't have the Roads of Dust equipped. I just realized. I don't think that I have been diligent about that. Man, this thing did a really good job of putting itself in the most annoying space to attack that it could. Okay, good to have that done. Let's get up here. Gather ourselves some pearls while we may. Apal has finished its settler. And we are moving on this, right? Yeah, okay, 3 turns. Go ahead and pin that so that we see if anything fails. I don't actually know where the next city goes. So first of all, let's do this. Oh, sorry, not that. This. I think that's pretty strong. That leaves us with enough influence to barter with. But we get to keep our very, very important influence gain, and our buyout reduction cost. Our buyout costs are going to be crazy cheap. It would be cool to go to here. We also could uproot some of our cities, apparently. You only have to pay the upkeep cost, or the influence cost for cities that are actually cities at this moment, not for ones that are up on the back of a beetle. But the problem with that is that it takes a couple of turns to get in, like, you've seen it a couple of times now. There is a loss of efficiency in doing that, and at this point I would rather spend the influence than lose the build time. Alright, so next turn is going to be a pretty good turn for buying things. And we'll figure out, you know, equipment for our heroes and hiring of new heroes and stuff on that turn. Right now, let's figure out where the next city goes. What's the next most important city location? We could do some pretty cool stuff over here. The coastal locations are the most important. Therat, basically, is my city of least concern. Avrama, I think, is probably next in terms of me not being concerned about them because Green has not even taken the areas next to it. I think Chadun is the most likely to get flipped. And it's a decent region with some good anomalies. Yeah, I think this is a fine place to go. Probably like right on top of the Blood Crystal, you think? Because that gives us a couple of forest spaces, lots and lots of food. You get to use the mineral rich. Neither of the anomalies here are plus approval. And as soon as we research the tech for extractors for the new tier of luxuries, we'll start pulling the blood crystals. Yeah, I like that a lot. Get over here. All right, let's see what things look like. And we're gonna get bread and circuses the turn after, which will hopefully ease off our expansion disapproval considerably. And what are we at? Right now we are seeing minus 60, and bread and circuses is 25%. Okay, so it'll be 12.5 right now, but it's gonna be an even larger reduction as our cities continue to grow. Certainly gonna finish Narrative Master here, or as our empire continues to grow in number of cities, rather. So we're gonna put down a city this turn. Are there any other boosters that I want to try to run right now before that? Obviously, Dustwater would be great if we could get some. Not nearly enough on the market, unfortunately. We would need 40 of anything that we want to run. Honestly, gold. Gold is pretty powerful, and it's very, very cheap right now. Powerful and plentiful. It's a good combination. The grass silk is still running. Yeah, let's just spend enough to get a gold booster because it's really cheap. There's only like 200 dust. Fire that off. And then go ahead and make this settle happen. So, in terms of buying things out, I think we want to focus on, now that we have the reduced buyout costs, we want to focus on buying out dust refineries first. A dust refinery everywhere that we can make good use of one, and then that will help to pay the cost for, buying out other stuff in the cheaper cities. So the larger cities should get them first. Okay, we don't quite have enough to afford that. Could we have enough to afford that? I don't really have a lot of spare luxuries. Probably not, actually. Okay, we're honestly still pretty close to Fervent. Probably fixable at the very least. Right, the Alai are still constantly flying their skyfins overhead. We're going to make sure we're getting our pearls. And then at some point we got to figure out how we want to use our pearls. Probably we're going to go in pretty heavy on the chapel because we have a lot of 3-city regions. At some point we got to go back and get Shipyard too, because there's going to be islands around that we will probably want to add to our empire. And unfortunately, you cannot buy mercenary settlers. Okay, so a lot of the cities are working on important things. We can rush a couple of the real basic things here. Because, yeah, these are going to be very, very cheap. Get that seed storage up. Get that sewer system up. We'll pacify this village next turn, so that'll be helpful. What are heroes at right now? Okay. Neighborhood of 600. Speaking of heroes, is there anybody who does not have the Roads of Dust manuscript equipped? Because we should fix that if there are. Yeah. Slipping over here. Okay, it was just one, though. Settler buyouts are still fairly expensive. Not in a big hurry on that. I want to be rushing our dust improvements out as quickly as possible. So they'll get a turn of construction into that. Melantor will get this going. And then we actually don't have any glass steel. Well, I can solve that. Get this city on dust refining next. And that's also what Sayagor needs to do next, and I want to roll industry into this as quickly as possible. We're doing a pretty good job, though, of maintaining reasonable industry rates while still being very food-focused in most of our cities. I'm pretty happy about that. We're about to get the Festival of Dust completed. So we do want to build another Delver somewhere, because we want to get these cities pacified. I don't know when is going to be the appropriate moment for that, because I probably want to get the settlers done as quickly as possible. Alright, gained access to the Band of Merriment, which is just wonderful, just a phenomenal thing. You definitely need to be working toward Dust Trickery as quickly as possible. Okay, so Bread and Circuses pushed us over Fervent, for the moment. Here in Hellcrast, probably it's Glory of Empire. Like, we're just going to need a lot more influence. Remember, we were only able to get this extremely good Empire plan because of the religious fervor. We will not get a boost like that again. I need right-of-way, I need a central market. Not like a huge priority, just get it done. If I wanted to throw another dredge in here, we're talking about 2 turns, 523 dust. I'm debating, like, the importance of this, because Sondir is probably the next grab. It's fairly important. Okay, I'll put this dredge in the queue after the settler. I'm not going to pay the 523 dust. We need to keep using dust to rush the dust refineries. And you can just keep building. Honestly, the game's a lot easier when you don't have to worry about being conquered. We got really, really lucky with our placement here. Now, the fact that the game is easier means that we're receiving less pressure. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily more likely to win. It did not mean easier in that sense. But you know what? We are pumping out 101 influence per turn without even really trying. Maybe we will be fine on influence for good Empire plans. I mean, our next Empire plan is going to be very expensive with this much territory. Okay, so you get to go up here. For some reason, the Skyfin takes damage from lava tiles. Wait. I have to give them... Oh, I haven't actually pulled 8 die out of the ground yet. Sorry about that. Let me just get 4 more die for you. That's some expensive die. Why can I not buy 4 die? There we go. I think the problem is that the values on the marketplace were changing so rapidly. Okay, so we didn't get anything from that except for the pacification. And we can ride him up and take care of these guys real fast. Ensure that we don't have to deal with any shenanigans on their part. Settlers out. Well, I guess we got to resolve this battle before I can move the settlers around. Once again, we'll just manual to make sure nothing silly happens to my poor dervish. They are moving first, so let's be far away. They have 6 movement or 4? Okay, so they'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to be in a position where I can hit him, but where I spend a lot of my movement doing it. I think let's all really focus on this guy. Alright, that's a good strong start. Yeah, even just a little bit of gear makes a huge difference when you're fighting minor factions. Okay, with 863 dust, we can certainly rush completion of that, and then we can just keep building districts. Wait, what am I doing? That's the wrong place to put that. Build it right here and level this one up, and then we build that. We build a new one right here, and it levels both of those, and then we'll consider further extension from there. But I think that might actually be our first level 2 district anywhere, right? Yeah, I think so. Capital's been really busy building a lot of other nonsense. We haven't gotten to put stuff up in a while. How many forested tiles do we have here? This is 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like it's actually just 3. Oh no, that one is 2. So I don't think the lumber mill is a great building generally. It's usually pretty soft, but there are regions that you can find where it will be great, and it's attached to the building. It's in the same tech as the building that just gives you industry for every tile of exploitation, which is pretty hard to ignore. Okay, in terms of anomalies here, we have one out by the water, but unfortunately, this is not a good place to grow a city. We have a dirt field over here, which is pretty much just science, and a snowy field over here with mineral rich. Okay. Mineral rich is alright. We might do it right here. There's not really a lot of food down here, though. This region has kind of an odd distribution of tiles. So it looks like there's not actually anywhere that we could settle where we would get more than 4 food to start. So if we settled like in one of these 2 spaces, we get 4 food, up to like 9 industry. Oh no, this tile has 6 food because of the city, or the minor faction village. I wonder 6 food and 8 industry versus right here where we get a lot more dust and also more industry but no food. I think I want to just settle here, honestly. Can I not? Yeah, I can totally move in here. I think we just put it down here. It's going to be a little bit slower to grow, except that, of course, we're going to be buying a lot of the buildings. Let's definitely make sure to buy this out. That too. Just get that done right away. Actually, sewer as well, right away. And our approval levels are going to... they're going to crater pretty badly for a while here, but we do have a new solution. So any city that is not fervent but has a hero should grab a band of merriment. It's just 15 extra approval. It's fantastic. I thought that there might be more than that. Okay, we need more heroes. But we also need more of these. Buyout on this one is 402, so we'll get it next turn. And then we actually have them in a lot of our cities already. You can see the amount of dust we're producing per turn is increasing sharply. Get our reaping stations up, which we will follow by just getting all of the grass silk extractors up. And then we should have enough grass silk to maintain a booster pretty much indefinitely, I think. Because we'll have, what, 4 deposits? We have 3 right now, and we're going to pick that one up. Yeah, I don't think we gained another one anywhere. 4 is pretty good. Alright, Hellcrest needs to be building toward more anomalies. I think this makes the most sense. We could build up this way in an attempt to reach out to these 2, but with them being right up against the zone border like that, I think we're best off just grabbing the other fumarole. Really, only 1 turn. Well, I'll give you more orders next turn to build the next burrow. Okay, so we definitely have enough dust to rush this. Then we gotta figure out which cities still need one. Because our biggest cities have priority due to the fact that it contains a percentage booster. Oh, we should probably build out our alchemy workshops as well. But every city should get one. We're gonna need another 3 dust to put this one in. Or glass steel, rather. And then even the little cities get one. We also do need that. So another 10, and we won't be able to rush this one, but we can at least get it started. Although, I suppose this city has more important things to do. Yeah, I'll put it in the queue. We're not actually going to get it started, but we'll buy it out next turn. We have 3 minor faction units, so let's head over here. Oh, you know what? They don't have movement trinkets, but also I don't have a lot of spare dust at the moment. Let's grab some pearls. And then I don't really know what else there is for this guy to do at the moment. I think we're just waiting for the next dust eclipse or the next winter. As he can go around and keep starting fights. If I attack right here, we get a couple of city garrisons. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get rid of all of these troublesome minor faction armies. They're going to make fools of themselves. I'm going to let the militia get in on this. Wow. That was a heck of a crit. And then they lined right up for the beam attack. That's annoying. Okay. I need you guys to, like, try a little bit harder than that. Oh, did he get... He got stunned, too. Grand. Alright, well, apparently the dervish's help is going to be necessary. Man. Always crits, huh? Well, he'll survive one more of those. This guy's no longer stunned, so he can sacrifice himself to keep that guy wounded. We need to make sure this dude actually dies. Guys, come on. Come on, finish him off. Okay. And then at this point, the dervish can fall back. The job is under control. That was kind of embarrassing, though. We're lucky that there's not likely to be a real enemy army on our shores anytime soon, because that, that suggests that we would not do too well with it. Also, man, there's a lot of, like, quest armies and just weird neutral garbage in my territory I would love to clean up. Alright, so now we gotta rush the refinery in Gogthal. We have access to our new extractors. Getting the grass silk extractors running is a high priority. Grass silk has run out, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to fix that for a little while. This is a moment when we could afford to put movement boosters on them. Buy ourselves an extra turn of population. It's not cheap, though. Alright, well, never mind, I guess. Okay, well, we definitely need dust alchemy as well. Plow factory is great, but we have no Palladian income. So I guess we'll have to get our mining stuff up before we can take advantage of that. You have... I mean, do we have any pearls? Okay. There is, in fact, at least one stack of pearls greater than 1 in size. What do I think? Probably we could just build this city out as, like, two long rows. We'll be able to pick up that that anomaly and that anomaly if we just keep building and building out in those directions. We're kind of blazing through the turns here, but we're not really in a very complicated situation. You guys should probably focus on food. At some point, we're all going to want to get on dust, and I know Murinlar is still very focused on dust, but the people there are very good at that job. Paul is almost finished with settlers, which is 1.5 to go. And then we got to buy heroes, and we got a lot of stuff to do. Is this city really not... Is it like at 80? It's 85. Ugh. Well, nothing for it just yet. We have a number of important things that need to get finished. So we could do this retrofit now, and it would allow me to gain the 2 population this turn instead of next turn. Is 1 extra turn of having 2 population worth 300 something dust? You know, I'm honestly not sure. Oh, what are you guys doing? Focusing on dust. That's terrible. So we probably want to get the central market, especially given what we are headed toward here in terms of continuing to drop our approval levels. We also definitely need that. And then we only have 1 city without one. So we're not fervent, and we're at 769, which means that over fervent would be in a really good place. With the grass silk booster running, we'd be in a really good place. And we don't know for sure that we don't have any dust water deposits, because dust water is a 3rd tier luxury, so we can't even see them yet. Yeah, we gotta get into Era 4 first. But on the whole, things are going really well here. So we're gonna get Smelting Station, and then probably into Plow Factory from there. We don't really have a lot to focus on aside from increasing our population and increasing the rate at which our population makes dust. We do need to get some more basic strategic extractors up in the new areas, though, because, man, there is a lot of... We will go through a lot of strategics very quickly. All right, one of the settlers is finished. I think Avrama is more important than Therat, just in terms of potentially losing it. Although Therat is both a better region and has grass silk in it. My suspicion here is that the smart way to do this is going to be to put down on the grass silk. Right? It's a relatively high food and industry area, and that means that we start getting the extraction immediately. Okay, somebody made a Guardian, so we get the quest to get the Guardian killing unit. Oh, that's extremely inconvenient. You massive jerk. Well, you know what we can do? I'm going to put our city down. And then it's going to... There we go. Then it's going to let me select my city. Then I'm going to uproot it. And it's going to eat that army if that army doesn't get out of the way. We'll have a good chance to look at the combat stats of one of these big beetles. I assume that they're very good. Okay, you need this more than anybody else. Absolutely worth the dust. 3 more turns until that's done, and then Mapal can start generating food again, which it hasn't been able to do in quite some time. We do have the ability to build the dust transmuter now. I don't know where the best place for that's going to be. It's going to have to do mostly with the size of the city, but also whether if a region is particularly dust poor. Not in terms of dust per tile, but in terms of number of tiles that have dust on them, that could be disqualifying. We're going to have to actually do a little bit of quick recon and math. I'm just running around looking to see if there's any locations that we ordinarily don't have vision of that have pearls in them. Okay, they gave us 10 Titan Bones, which I do appreciate. We're going to need more Titan Bones soon if we want to keep this booster running, and I do want to keep this booster running. They're selling them pretty aggressively, so I guess next turn we'll just buy enough to run 1 more booster. We probably will have to lay off at that point. And where do you guys want to go? You want to chill out in a city somewhere where you're providing XP to the governor, but probably honestly not the capital. I probably want it to be somewhere that I have a Broken Lord governor. So here... And Unwin Weybridge is the one who is high level, right? Yeah. I think that's it. I think this is where. Provide some extra XP to the guy who's actually likely to get Dust Trickery fairly soon. Alright, so Gogthal's got its dye extractor up. We need Central Market pretty badly. Yeah, okay, that is totally worth rushing. Then over here in Geneldas. Oh man, we still need a lot of very basic stuff in a lot of our cities. This period of rapid expansion is a little crazy. Okay, so now we want to just build alongside our existing line. Honestly, our total Empire population is pretty good now. We've been fortunate to be able to focus on food so much since we haven't had to worry about building military units or anything. Now, the grass silk extractors... Okay, second tier luxury extractors do not require any strategics. I might want to put people on industry for a moment here to get this stuff done. I know we can buy things out with dust, but we have a lot of stuff to buy. Oh yeah, there's more than one grass silk deposit in that region. Well, you definitely need to focus. And that's all of them, right? I think that's the stuff that I'm really focused on here, is getting that grass silk running, because we want to keep that active as much as possible. And we're still happy, and honestly, pretty far down in happy. Alright, so we're pulling the beetle up this turn. That's going to give us a very slightly cheaper Titan Bone cost. Titan Bones are about to run out. We definitely want to get them running again. And let's have a look at the combat stats of one of these big beetles. 19 attack, 27 damage, 28 defense. Not retrofittable, right? We don't have a unit design for these guys. So honestly, pretty bad. I was expecting a little bit more. They have the Crusher capacity. I do not know what that does. And they have Sweep Strike back. Yeah, not so good. But fortunately, the minor faction guy moved, so we can go ahead and resettle. Where is the offending minor faction? Okay, we can probably handle that. Turn the Delvers around and attack it. Oh, it won't quite be in range of both the garrisons, though. And, like, I'm wondering if we maybe actually will need it to be in range of both the garrisons, given how badly we did in the battle against the last one. Oh, I didn't buy the Titan Bones before putting the beetle down. I got all distracted looking at the beetle. Boy, that sounds like me. Alright, so we gotta buy 45 Titan Bones instead of 40. Honestly, it's only a 50 dust difference. Thank you very, very much to whoever is just relentlessly selling Titan Bones. Looks like it's blue. Yeah, wow, blue is offloading those Titan Bones. Alright, so not a lot of dust water out here, not nearly enough wine. That's what I was really wondering about. We could buy another grass silk thing. Probably is worthwhile. We probably will make the money back, is what I'm thinking. We don't currently have any, and then it'll give us time to start accumulating. Yeah, I think that is going to earn back its value very quickly. You are headed toward Inspirational Leader. Also, this actually does help in her city. Syria Alastra is... Yeah, probably we should pick up Black Marketeer. Although, actually, at the moment, this doesn't do anything. Let's get a point of Inspirational Leader. We need docks before this will have any effect at all, because we have no way of making land trade routes with another player. Okay, Miranlar is getting stuff done. So where do we want to build out now? I kind of want to build up one more space, even though this particular burrow is not awesome, just to get the anomaly. But what we should probably do is build alongside here, just to make sure that we're leveling stuff up, because the approval from leveling up districts is actually extremely relevant this game. Alright, so you have failed to find any interesting sources of pearls. Now, I'm gonna use this unit to engage with those guys. I'm gonna have the dredges just continue where they're going, because they're bad enough fighters that they'll probably just die in the Silic battle. Alright, up here in this city, let's get some very, very basic stuff done. Definitely want to buy that seed storage first. Get maximum value for it from it before the winter. And it looks like it is about time to start focusing on new heroes. We'll be able to buy a couple of new heroes a turn until we are fully set on heroes. And we really are not bringing in the dye fast enough. Well, we could just buy 39 dye right now. No, we cannot. Never mind. I was about to try to, figure out whether that was the right thing to do mathematically, but it turns out not even possible. Alright, grass silk extractor's going up. One more turn until the settler, and then we can finally get back to building normal stuff here. Oh, I guess there's no reason to do that in that order, then. Alright, let's talk about new heroes. How many heroes do I need? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including the city that's not yet down. So who's out here? Obviously, I would prefer Broken Lords and Roving Clans. It looks like we are not going to have a lot of luck with this batch. So we'll see a new batch of heroes on turn 76. But we probably should not rely on all of those heroes being good for us, so we should buy any that make sense here. Although, honestly, it's kind of looking like nobody. So far, these are very unimpressive. Okay, Food Boost 3 is pretty good. Food Boost into food and influence is not bad. You have Army Initiative Boost and Army Vision Range Boost. We should talk about getting a Kapaku, because they do have this skill. They can't make there be food on volcanic terrain, but they can improve the volcanic terrain tile somewhat. Do they have any other stuff? Plus approval for districts that are on volcanic terrain. Lots of extra science. Yeah, I mean, a Kapaku's okay. Unfortunately, these particular Kapaku are not good. They do not have good capacities for us. In fact, all of these heroes kind of suck. Namkang's the only one that I like at all. Science Boost 1. Science Efficiency 1. Ugh. Alright, well, let's get Namkang and maybe then focus on rushing buildings for a little while longer. Rushing buildings and buying luxuries. So we want to put Namkang in a newish city, and this city has a lot of potential, I think. Get the most out of that Food Boost 3. And then we may as well give you the 2 trinkets, the 2 customary trinkets. Let's go ahead and buy all this stuff out. Give me right away, give me Central Market. And then we can worry about science. Dust first, as always. Actually, we should probably put a little bit more emphasis on the industry-producing buildings. Those are pretty important. And on turn 76, we'll see a new grip of heroes, and hopefully they'll be a little bit more, in our style, a little bit more conducive to the thing we need to do here. Alright, we have the ability to build the new strategic extractors, and we do have to put some priority on that. So I guess that's a thing we can spend dust on. Man, I wish Sondir had, like, one extra district or was slightly further north. We can't really do much about it given the position of that guy. Here, I'm just going to buy this, I think. And we'll engage on them next turn with both of the city garrisons. Make sure this goes off smoothly. The Lore Master is leveling up and probably just goes to grab Cultural Ambassador. At some point, we won't need this anymore. But that point is not right now. Actually, hold on. He's in Mapal. What's Mapal at right now? 83%. So actually, he doesn't need approval right now. Maybe we should grab Raptor's Eye, even though it doesn't do anything. Actually, wow, we're really far away from being able to get to Inspirational Leader. Well, we gotta start walking the path, I suppose. So we'll grab Raptor's Eye and then into this stuff. Does that actually equip? No. Apparently you can only actually apply one half of that screen at a time. Weird. Okay. So we're at 82 approval overall. There are definitely some people who could have bracelets who do not currently have bracelets. Your city hasn't needed it yet, but I don't want to have to keep coming through and checking. Let's just make sure everybody has one. Man, the Delvers are an awfully good assimilate. Alright, so we're waiting a turn to get that done. We do still have refineries to build. Also, apprenticeship registry, probably fairly important. And then there is Palladian in this region. Gotta real quickly here go through all of the regions that have the mid-tier resources and make sure we get the extractors at least on the build order. And to buy one of these out straight is 327 dust, so that's, like, very affordable. That is just not the titanium symbol. I'm just, like, clicking in a place that is not the place where the thing gets built. Another benefit of these is that they help us keep a little bit of vision. It seems like they provide a small amount of vision around themselves. Okay, you know, there's not really much sense in waiting on this. We should have these available so that we can build them when we have holes in our build queues. Like right now, this is a fine time for a Chapel of Auriga in this region. Oh, also, you guys could probably be focusing on food a little bit. Alright, so you're waiting. We got all that stuff dealt with. We are researching things. Alright, this turn we're spending a lot of dust on extractors. I want to be able to actually build some of these plow factories. We're still going to have to spend a lot of dust buying resources. We're headed in the right direction here, at least. Yeah, man, we need strategics very badly. Pretty much all of them. Okay, let's be done with this. Wait, I thought I was in range of... I thought I was in range of Chadun. Well, alright, I think we probably still beat them, but that's annoying. So I don't want to go in this turn. They're going to move forward one space each. We just kind of want to be close. Certainly not in range to actually get hit. Okay. And you just have to pin him in place so that we're not getting ganged up on. Hopefully we can actually do some real damage here. Also, I wouldn't be opposed to a lucky stun. That would be alright. It is nice to have the initiative advantage against the things we're fighting a lot of the time, though. Alright, so this, I think, is one of the last minor faction armies left, right? We still have the Boss army running around in the upper right province. But I think that's one of the last actually neutral ones. And these quest armies don't actually, like, try to burn our stuff down or anything. Is that... Hold on, is that tile not actually in the region? Is that a loose tile? It sort of looks like the border extends up there. Weird, though. Alright, so you need to get back over here to initiate combat with the final one, and you need to also be over here. Alright, so we're about to have... How many regions is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 regions uncontested, with possibly an island over there to grab. Are you guys still not in Hellcrast? Man, we gotta get... This is what happens when you don't build movement trinkets. Or accessories, rather. Alright, what is the most important thing to build here? We probably do want to get Glory of Empire up. Mostly we want to get population up. That's our primary concern there. Alright, and let's go buy ourselves extractors where we need to buy extractors. I want all of them done this turn. Let's start getting this stuff in and either using or selling it as quickly as possible. Okay, you have yours under control. We definitely want to save chapels for the cities that will benefit most from them. We probably want to build out toward this thing. I'm not sure exactly what direction we want to go in. So there's more dust this way. 4698 versus 4797. Boy, those are similar. Those are some extremely similar values. Actually, I guess we should build out this way. We could build 2 lines like that, and that way we get the extra anomaly. That also gives us an actual permanent coastal district, too. But you guys could probably get back on food here. Let's just keep pushing population and dust everywhere that we can. Actually, this is a fine place for a chapel. And with 639 dust, we can almost hire another hero. Again, like, I don't want to wait until turn 76 with the intention of buying 6 heroes all of a sudden, because the odds are pretty good that we're not going to see 6 heroes that we like better than the ones we have now. And if we pick them up now, we at least get to start leveling them up quickly. Alright, so this is the only minor faction village on the whole continent that doesn't belong to me yet. We'll just settle the city kind of nearby, and then use the garrison against it. Or I guess we could just bribe them, couldn't we? The Mizari have just gotten the Eye of the Farthinker, so that means there's been very little player combat so far. If turn 72 is the turn where a third army led by a hero was defeated by a certain faction. Alright, well, Paul, you have... Boy, you have a lot of stuff to catch up on. Alright, so what are we doing here? Are we building a triangle, or are we just building... We're probably just building a line out, right? We could build up this way. Fair amount of science on those tiles, but not enough... Yeah, there's not a lot of food or dust up here. And I really would like our expansions to feature at least one of those things. This is probably a good time to grab... Well, having cargo docks will allow us to trade with other players. That's not meaningless. And then also shipyards that we can pop over to this other landmass and see if there is good terrain there. At a certain point, the value of continuing to grab new regions will fall somewhat. But we don't know when that point will be, so we'd have to buy 5 Palladian and 3 glass steel to start building one of these. That seems like a thing that should be very doable. that plow factory. And then probably should at this point start talking about the dust transmuter. So with the dust transmuter, what we really want is just a place where there's a lot of individual tiles that have dust on them. It looks like almost every tile around this city does, and this city has a very impressive population. Is that the highest population in the Empire? Hellcrest also has a very high population. There are a fair number of tiles around Hellcrest that do not naturally have dust on them, though. So the reason I'm thinking about putting the dust transmuter in the high population city is just so that it can take advantage of the largest possible number of burrows. What's the terrain like over here? Somewhat dusty. I think we're going to build it here, actually. So let's buy 10 glass steel. Get this thing installed. Get the plow factory just... I mean, I probably just rush that, don't I? Then we'll get the plow factory done next turn. We'll really start burrowing as hard as we can and getting tons of food so that we're continuing to be able to build burrows. And yeah, that's going to look pretty good. It's going to be a high-yield city. And down here, just continuing to build slowly. Alright, this is the settler. So we got to figure out where in this region do we want to put down this city. Between the two geysers looks pretty good in terms of being able to actually build stuff on our own. There's no food anywhere else, actually. These are the 3 tiles with food on them. Sorry, no, there's 1 down there. So yeah, this is actually, this is the best spot in pretty much every way. And conveniently, that does leave the city in range to fight the minor faction village. No, wait, we're going to bribe the minor faction village. Because of course we are. Why would I fight it? I have so much money. What could I possibly use? What would I possibly need to do combat for? Although, we can't buy it this turn. And over in Sondir, yeah, you can see cities with a sewer system and a market are showing up at 65 approval. That's going to have to get fixed. Alright, so that'll level him up a little bit faster. Let's try to push to turn 76 so we can at least see the new heroes here. Alright, and Avrama is going to need a little bit of a push, but unfortunately, it is not going to get that push right now. Obviously, we're just going to buy the seed storage. Very, very cheap. So, the amount of disapproval that we are facing from expansion right now is only 37.5. Huh. I thought it was going to be more than that. Uh-oh. A declaration of war from Pink. Well, that's not great. They don't actually have any troops right now. Skyfin cannot threaten us. A Skyfin cannot take a city. So I'm not too worried about that immediately, but we're probably going to have to make some kind of deal with them. We're going to have to pay them off, basically. And purple was eliminated from the game, so it seems like pink has maybe been on the warpath a little bit. Alright, let's deal with these guys. So actually, I might want this to be the end of the episode, just so that I can take some time and consider my options here before the next one. Because that could be bad. It's definitely like an existential threat, right? We not only have no military, but we don't even really have any technology with which to build a military. Okay, so let's see. You actually don't get to make a choice, but you'll be able to reach that guy. Yeah, let's all just focus in on this dude. Oh, really? Interesting. I expected him to stay back and fight the dervish. Well, I suppose we have run completely out of other things to fight, so this is the moment. Man, I am concerned about this. I was kind of hoping that our relative remove from everybody, along with our relative peacefulness, was going to help us avoid such a situation. I did forget to ever pick up Diplomat's Mance, which is important. We do need to make deals with other players. I kind of forgot about that part. Let's take a quick look at the graphs here. So blue is actually leading pink in score. Pink actually has the weakest military of the remaining AI players that we know. That's good for us. Maybe we can make friends. Maybe they've annoyed somebody else enough that we can make friends over a mutual problem with them. They are currently just Cold War with everybody else. Yeah, I don't really know what we're going to do here. That's why this is the moment that we're going to take a break for the day. I have to think about this. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when we hopefully don't get exterminated by angry Alayi. And we'll see you then.